Hello, Carla Nicole. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe today. This is Carla Nicole Wisdom Channel, and this is the channel for you. So I want to welcome everybody. I want to talk this evening about how to satisfy the sex pro. So a lot of times, and I'm finding it more commonly than not, there have been so many variations with our partners we choose. And so, I'll put myself out there, I usually do. So I want to talk a little bit about, when you have been, through a season where you became a little more sexual with various different lovers, you have various different sexual experiences. In that time frame, you begin to, take on different techniques, learn different styles of lovemaking. You also learn what type of things move you because of the time that you explore sexually. You actually find more about yourself, and then learn how to become the best seductress that you can, with there being some exploration going on sexually with different various partners. And so once you, I call it, get burnt out by just that season, you get to the point where you're done with it. You just want to settle down. Your oats have been soiled, if you will. And so you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm just really wanting to advance my intimacy in a more selective space, a more solidified relationship, or whatever, what have you. And so you get to the point where you're like, I'm kind of done with this. It was fun while it lasted. I want to go ahead and just be, in my routine of being with the person that I decide to be with. So once you get to that point, though, a lot of times I believe that we really don't talk to our partner that we choose about the fact that we've had variations of lovers, or that we've had variations of experiences sexually, that we just have more of a maturity, if you will, have more of a confidence in our sexual desires, tastes, styles. And so when you have that, because a lot of times we tend to be attracted to the opposite, it can challenge us sometimes, because we're finding ourselves involved with someone that maybe knows very little about intimacy, or has the same expertise, if you will, or even has remotely, I don't know, let's just say they don't have the experience. And so when you get to this point, you're like really wanting to have an enjoyable intimacy, but because you've had so many variations of partners, and personally what makes you click and kind of what doesn't, because you've already have kind of soiled your oats, and you then partner with someone that is very either inexperienced, or maybe is more shy, I guess, if you will, or they just don't have the they're just a little more reserved, I guess. And so you're finding yourself either one doing all the work, so you're the one just implementing all the um, enjoyment, if you will, or you're implementing all the acts sexually, and you feel like you're just exhausted. And sometimes you get to the point where you're like, man, I just wish I had someone that, you know, just kind of could keep up with me, because I've had so many different partners that just had an understanding or had more of a variation or more of a variety of different styles that maybe my partner has no idea about, because of course we're from two totally different worlds. And so a lot of times when that happens, it's like, what do I do? Like, first of all, it can be very intimidating if you're on the flip side of this coin. If you have been only with the man that you're with, and your man has had many different lovers, it can be intimidating, because you're like, well, am I satisfying you? I mean, am I enough for you? Are you going to find yourself gratified in our intimacy? Because I don't really know what all these different women were doing for you when you were out here with different partners. And the same goes on the flip side. I mean, if a husband has not had all those different variations of lovers, and you have had many a lover, and then you're like, man, our sexual experience is kind of more reserved rather than more spontaneous, or more enjoyable. So it's like, I don't know. How do I balance this out? Talk. See, a lot of times we don't think about the importance of speaking out what we desire, what we want. And a lot of times we don't challenge ourselves to speak about what we want in our bedroom. We don't talk about what it is we want sexually. We don't say to our partner, hey, look, I would like to try this, or I liked when you did that. We don't really have that conversation because we are either shy, or we just have been brought up more reserved, or we came up under strict rules in our home when we were younger, so we have not had the exposure. So I always say that if you're on the flip side of the coin, where you were the one that really wasn't exposed, but you're with a mate that has had many lovers, talk to them. It is vitally important that you talk to them about their experiences. And understand this: when you talk to them about the experiences that they had, don't build a jealousy. Don't build a bias, or build a suspicion now that they're telling you the different things that they experienced that they liked. Just understand they're conveying this truth to you, so that you and he, or you and she, can join in some things that maybe you just haven't. And it's not that you're not open to it because, of your background, but you have to be willing to talk about what it is that has actually worked in the past for them, because this actually opens you up to finding out some newness sexually about yourself. A lot of times we see people that have a sexual freedom, and we think to ourselves, man, they are really expressive sexually. And we either look down our nose at them, or we actually say, I wish I had that, that confidence, that sexual confidence. And you can attain that just by the mere fact of having a conversation and learning to master some techniques that maybe your lover that you're with, your partner, your husband or spouse or wife are telling you, and learning to master it based upon your style. Because see, the thing about it is, your style can't be duplicated. Whether they have been with many people, or have only been with one person for many, many, many years. Either way, there has still been several experiences sexually that they've had. So with that said, there is a reading and an understanding of each other the more sex that you have with someone. So when you have a lot of intimate relationships or intimate relations with someone, you find that it improves the more often you do it. And not only that, you also, when you begin to talk about it, you bring out this flirtation. You start to learn some things about your partner maybe you didn't know. Like, oh, I like to do it outside, or I love it when when we're doing it spontaneously in the kitchen, or all kinds of things that maybe you never tried, but because you never talked about it. So you didn't even know that that was something they would be open to. Again, in order to satisfy the person that is sexually sex pro, if you will, or someone that has a lot of sexual experience, they just merely want to be the focus. Point blank, period. If you have a partner that has had a lot of experience sexually, normally 9 times out of 10, they just want to know that you want to be there with them. And that in and of itself is an aphrodisiac to make the sexual experience even more enjoyable. So, hey, I hope this helps somebody today. Like I said, take the time and talk. Getting to know, and I say this all the time, knowledge is the best aphrodisiac in a relationship. The more you know about your partner, the more you learn about them and what makes them move sexually, makes them excited, helps it more than you can ever imagine. I'm Carla Nicole. I am a wisdom coach, and I always convey a unique perspective with a twist of wisdom.